All right, we're speaking with Mikael from Opeth in support of Blackwater Park, brand new album coming out in March in the United States. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true, on the 13th.
Great. I've had a chance, of course, to listen to it, and I'm a relatively new fan of you guys. I started with Still Life, and I love this album just as much as Still Life. How would you compare the two in sound?
Well, I think it's pretty much, it's not that long time between the recordings, so it pretty much followed where Still Life, Blackwater Park is like a continuation of Still Life in a way. This time we worked with a producer, which made a difference, especially in the sound department, because we worked a lot more with sounds this time on the voice and on the guitars. We never really been that interested in the technical aspect of recording before. We never really knew how to do it, if you know what I mean. But this time, working with Stephen Wilson gave us the opportunity to experiment a bit more with sounds. It's something that we always wanted to do, and this time we could.
Cool. And with this release, looks like you guys are finally going to hit the States for a full-blown tour.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Yeah, I saw it. You're hitting the Metal Fest, and then you'll be out with Amorphous, and then the Nevermore Children of Bodom tour.
It's going to be a long one.
You guys may as well just move here.
Yeah, it's almost, you're looking for houses while we're there. But it's going to be like 7 weeks or something in all, and
that's great.
It's going to be good for us.
Yeah.
I always wanted to come over and do a proper thing in the States as well, So now we have the opportunity, and it's going to be great.
Definitely should be fun.
Yeah.
Now, how would you describe your music, for someone that's never heard you before? You guys are one of the few bands that have pulled me over to the, I classify it as melodic extreme metal. And when I say that, Opeth, In Flames, Children of Bodom, bands like that are really drawing me to listen more to this kind of music. How would you describe your music if someone had to ask you that's never heard you before?
Well, I think it feels awkward for me to kind of come up with a cool title for our music. I think we're pretty much just a metal band in a way. We have so many different influences that we sometimes go beyond just metal and do stuff that's maybe not been heard in metal before,
Right.
But basically, we were an extreme metal band with some progressive influences, That pretty much sums it up, I think.
Yeah, you definitely have. Just from listening, I mean, you listen to one Opeth album, at least the two that I've heard, and it's just like you're on a roller coaster ride, because you'll have songs that are really heavy, like off the new one, The Leper Affinity, but then you'll have real nice, really emotional songs like Harvest, and it's really, really a nice listen once you sit down with it. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to a couple friends recently who were at the Prog Power in the States here, and 3 guys heard Harvest come on over the loudspeakers and said, "Oh my God, I got to get this album. Who is this?" So just from the the nice, prettier, I guess, Opeth tunes, you got some new fans there that are looking for your album.
Yeah, it's the songs you play for your mom, But we like, as I said, we pretty much listen to all kinds of music.
Yeah.
I'm listening to stuff that an ordinary metal bloke wouldn't understand what the hell why I'm interested in that kind of music. But it's just, we don't think too much when we write. It's just something, we put in everything in there that we like.
Right.
We don't care if it's whatever style it belongs to. We just kind of want to come up with songs that we like ourselves.
Right. Now, do you enjoy the writing process? I think I read somewhere, I can't remember where I saw it. It might have been on your own sites through the session diaries, that you actually get kind of bored sometimes recording and all that, the building process, I guess.
Yeah, it's almost like it's not fun in the sense of the word. It's something that you, like the basic recordings, like when you record drums and rhythm guitars and bass. It's boring really. It's not fun. To have do takes after take. It's when you start with the vocals and the lead guitar, it gets interesting, if you know what I mean. But the thing before that, it's pretty boring, But it's interesting in a way because we don't rehearse. for this album we rehearsed like 3 times.
Wow.
So it's interesting to hear what the songs will sound like, if you know what I mean.
That is amazing that you say that. I mean, rehearsing 3 times, you know, like with the new album, even when the first song comes on, Left for Affinity, you listen to that and you're like, holy smokes, this thing's like so involved. There's so many layers of these strange chords that are working together and the acoustic guitar parts, and that's pretty amazing that you guys don't rehearse that much and it comes out like that.
No, rehearsing is boring. It's, you know, when we were younger, you know, when we started the band,
right,
we like rehearsed 5-6 times a week, you know, because that was everything you wanted to do was rehearse, you know. And now it's like, you know, I bought myself a PlayStation unit and
watch out, life's over.
Oh yeah, it's like, you know, I'm quitting the band, you know, I'm gonna finish this live on filter or something. You know, it's you know, we have so many different interests now, and the rehearsing is just, it's pretty hard to get 4 guys that don't want to rehearse in the same room to do it, you know, it's tough, you know. And also, like, when you record albums, you know, it's, for us, it feels more interesting to come up with a product that you don't know yourself, you know.
Right.
It's fresh for you when you listen to it. It's like you're, because we are like fans of our own band, if you know what I mean.
Wow.
And when you go out with a new album and you don't know what's on there, it's more interesting for us as well, you know.
Right. That's
great.
great.
Like when we recorded the first album, we were so well rehearsed, we knew everything. And when we listened to the finished album, we were like, oh, the same old songs. There was no surprises for us, you know, because we heard it so many times.
Right.
Blackwater Park and Still Life, you know, Still Life we rehearsed twice.
Wow. Gosh. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's much more interesting to listen to afterwards. You know?
So
you want to be excited yourself.
Yeah, I mean, the music is just, I would never guess that you would rehearse that less, because it's, I don't want to say it's really complicated music, but there is, I mean, there's a whole depth there. There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
You know, you got your electrics, you got the acoustics, then you know, it's just so many different layers in there.
Yeah.
Now, are you sing both vocal styles on the album?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I heard that a lot of your older stuff was more just towards the growly vocal type stuff.
Well, the normal voice has always been there since the first album.
So I didn't know that.
I was pretty much, you know, I got more experience with each recording,
right?
Obviously, so I dare to do more with my normal voice. You know, the latest couple of albums.
Right.
Know? But we always done it, you know. But I've become better with each release, and we've experimented more with the normal voice on each new album, you know.
Now, was that something you thought of from the get-go, that you wanted to combine the 2 different, you know, the contrast of the clean vocals versus the growl vocals? Or what made you come up with that idea?
I have no idea, actually. Before we recorded the first album, like in '92 or something, I had this acoustic part, and I was like, it would be cool to have some normal voice over there. And we just tried it out, and it worked, you know. So I think since then, you know, we just started experimenting a bit more.
Right.
That song was on the first album. It was "The Twilight Is My Robe," it was called, and there's a lot of clean vocals on that song, you know. And I think that was the first that we really ended up using the normal voice. Like almost 50-50 with black metal vocals, if you know what I mean.
Another thing
I've just moved on since then.
Yeah, another thing I like about your albums are the lyrical content. Are really, I like reading the types of albums lyrics that aren't just your typical, you know, hey, we like to party, rock and roll all night, blah 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 blah. I mean, I like reading lyrics that you really got to think about, that's kind of involved, and that's what, to me, what Opeth lyrics are. What's your inspirations when you're writing stuff like that?
I don't know. You know, people think that I read a lot of poetry and stuff, and that I read lots of books, you know, deep books. But I don't read many books at all. So I don't know where my inspiration comes from. It must be just something I got up there, you know.
Right. It's one of those things.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to say. Actually, one book I did read was American Psycho, and that influenced me quite a bit. But apart from that, I don't read much, you know. So I don't know what I'm influenced by.
Yeah. Another thing I saw with this, especially with the newer album, is the awesome artwork of Travis Smith
Yeah.
I always plug that guy because I love his artwork.
Yeah, me too.
How did you end up originally hooking up with him?
I don't remember correctly, but I think it was because my friends in this band Catatonia, they were using him for one of their albums, and I saw the artwork, and I was like, fucking hell, you know, he's really good, this guy, you know. So I contacted him, and he told me, yeah, he's a big Opeth fan and everything. So we just, you know, started working together on the Still Life album, and we were so satisfied with the work he did for the album, so we decided that we wanted to work with him again for Blackwater Park.
Yeah, it's tough to get bored of his work.
Yeah, he is, I think, the best artwork guy right now.
Yeah, he's definitely my favorite. You can always tell his art when he does it with someone for, you know, like Nevermore's album. You immediately know, oh, that's Travis Smith.
Yeah, you can see on the cover, you know, stuff that he sent pictures, like, it's stuff in there on, like, the new Nevermore. He's like, he sent me that picture as well, you know. You can recognize some of his style, you know. And
also for, you know, anybody listening to this that got the album, I saw that there was some additional artwork that wasn't used over on the darkwood.com/Opeth site.
Opeth domain.
So you can check that out if you missed, want to see some more Travis work. Now, I read that you have another project that you're starting up in addition to Opeth with some friends of yours for possible recording this year.
Yeah.
Is that going to be more towards the lighter side, lighter music, or?
Not light as in happy, but it's gonna be not metal.
Right.
I don't know exactly what it's gonna sound like, but I'm gonna work together with a guitar player that I admire, and a keyboardist, the guy from Spiritual Beggars. So it's gonna be calm music, but with a very, very dark touch. And
would it be similar?
And Garfunkel vocals all the time. So.
Okay.
It's going to be pretty interesting, I think.
Kind of similar to the Harvest tune, or even?
Yeah, kind of, but darker.
Okay, cool.
And with, we're going to use mellotrons and Hammond organs and stuff.
Well, it should definitely be cool.
More keyboard.
Now, are you a big internet junkie? I saw you guys do a pretty good job, or your webmaster does, of keeping the site updated with, you know, your current goings on, and you have plenty of content up there. You one of those guys that surfs a lot on the web?
I don't really, you know. I did when I first got connected. I checked the porn sites and stuff. You know. But you know, like you know, got some lyrics for albums you didn't have lyrics for, you know.
Right.
Like that. But I'm not one of those surfers, if you know what I mean. I got it mainly to, you know, because of email. You know, email is great.
Right.
I use it every day. So
email
I don't surf that much.
Email and check out the boobies.
Yes.
Now, and I also saw that you guys have gone through quite a few members throughout the Opeth, you know, from inception till now. Is the current lineup pretty stable? How are you guys getting along now?
No, we're getting along fine, you know, and I would say it's stable, you know, but you never know.
Right.
Because we never deliberately kind of fired anyone really, apart from the bass player on the two first albums. It can be, you know, like the old drummer, the original drummer, Anders, he and I knew each other since we were like kids, you know, and we always said that no matter what, we're always going to play together.
Right.
But he kind of changed his mind in a day or something and quit the band, you know, so it's very hard to say. But for me, I think it's stable.
Right.
And we're really happy with playing with the two Martins, and, you know, Peter's been in the band since the beginning, obviously, but we feel that we belong together in this band now.
Cool.
I hope it's going to be like this.
What kind of future you guys see for Opeth? I mean, is it something that you want to continue on with for, say, the next 10 years, you know?
It's hard to say.
Or you not look that far ahead?
I don't, you know, as soon as I get bored, I'm going to stop playing.
Right. You go back to your PlayStation.
Yeah, if it still works, you know. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'll probably, you know, release a couple of more quality metal albums, you know. Maybe do some tours and stuff.
So are you guys still within a contract with your record label to put out more?
Music for Nations.
Cool.
So we have a contract. I think we signed a 5-album deal, and this is our second album. So
okay, good.
3 more.
Good. We'll look forward to that one. Now, is that something that you say you got 3 more to come? How often do you guys end up putting music out there? I mean, you already got music that you're putting towards a new album and already writing, or how do you handle your writing process?
I want to take a break with recording. You know, we've done 5 albums, and it feels like 5 albums, only 1 European tour. You know,
right,
since the beginning. So with this album, we're gonna take every opportunity we can to tour, and America's a good start. We're gonna do a couple of festivals this summer as well in Europe, and hopefully European tour in the fall. So I'm gonna take from writing for Opeth. I'm gonna concentrate on this project of mine instead, and maybe have a Opeth album recorded next year or something.
Right. Now, you guys at the point where I know a lot of bands, some are, some aren't. Are you guys at the point where you're making a living off your music, or do you guys have other jobs that you have to handle for now?
Well, you know, I'm the only one that doesn't work or study or anything. You know, I work occasionally in a record store, but that's just because I like it. You know, it's one of my dreams to open up a record store of my own.
Oh, cool.
The other guys, Peter studies, and the 2 Martins work part-time as well.
Right.
So basically, you could say I make a living out of music, although I don't make a living. You know, I don't do anything apart from music. Like, occasionally, I got some money in my pocket, but most of the time, I don't. You know,
right?
It's fine with me. I'm used to being poor, and I kind of like it in a way.
As long as you got your PlayStation and music, what else you need?
Oh yeah, I can afford to buy a couple of games for my PlayStation.
There you go. Now, how is that for the other members? Is it rough for them having to, you know, like you guys are getting ready to come over to, you know, the States for quite a long haul? Is that rough for them to be able to, you know, take off school, take off work, to have to come over here and
No, it's not tough at all. I think nobody has a job that they're attached to. It's all like shitty jobs, if you know what I mean. So they have no problem leaving. You know, I think the 2 Martins work in taking care of elderly people, like wiping their asses and everything. You know? So I don't think they mind going over to the States. And Peter, he's studying, and he kind of takes care of his own. He just has to fulfill like the points, if you know what I mean. So he can study whenever he wants to, as long as he fixes the test when they're due. You know,
It's
not a big problem.
You have something to look forward to. If something ever happens to you, you got the 2 brothers to take care of you and wipe your ass.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Now, is there any other goals that you have for Opeth that you haven't already achieved? I mean, you got albums out there. You got, you know, you're on a good road, getting ready to do some touring. What else would you like to see happen for Opeth?
Well, you know, I still haven't been driving down Sunset Boulevard in a limo, like standing out with a cowboy hat and shades and screaming, you know. But it's as far as goals come, you know, we don't think in those terms, really.
Right.
You know, I just want to have a decent life. You know, I've pretty much felt, you know, I've left all that boring work shit behind because I don't feel you should waste your life doing stuff you don't like to do. You know.
Right.
So just want to have a good life.
Cool.
That's all.
And are there any other bands recently that you're listening to that you're into right now, CD-wise or anything?
Well, you know, I've been listening to the new Nevermore stuff, obviously, since when I was them. I've got some free stuff from the labels that I'm in contact with, but I can't remember anything I liked, really.
Cool. Yeah, the new
Nevermore is good.
Yeah, it's really good. I got a chance to catch them when they did the first little mini tour, I guess.
Yeah.
With In Flames.
Mm-hmm.
And great show. So
yeah, I think so.
You guys
we're gonna be nervous.
Nah, you guys will do fine. Just play your music, and as long as we get to hear that Opeth music, you know, I don't see how you can go wrong.
No, well,
actually, I'll be catching you guys twice this year. I'll be at the Metal Fest, and I'll be catching you guys in Virginia when you come through with the Nevermore tour, so it should be pretty cool.
That's nice, yeah.
All right, well, I appreciate you taking your time. So Mikael from Opeth, Blackwater Park's the new album. Going to be out in March everywhere in the States, and it's definitely a winner. Make sure to go out there and check it out. And I appreciate your time, Mikael.
Thanks.
All right, have a great one.
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye.